Welcome to the Gen Z Marketer Podcast, where we have marketing conversations and everything in between. Here we talk about marketing, branding, e commerce, and the power of integrated marketing communication. I'm your host, Jumia Umali, a strategist passionate and specializing in branding and marketing for e commerce. In this episode, we'll discuss the key takeaways from Seth Godin's Business Marketing. What are the basic and key principles that we should keep in mind as marketers? What is marketing? How do we differentiate and position ourselves? How do we change behaviors? How do we become a part of our customer stories? Keep listening to find out more. I previously did a similar episode discussing Martino Myers, the brand gap, and the brand flip. Check those out after this if you haven't already. Before we get to it, don't forget to support the show by following the podcast to get notified on the latest uploads. First, let's talk about what marketing is. So, just a movie is a problem, so is the story of your marketing. Marketing has to resonate with the listener, to tell them something that they've been waiting to hear, something they're open to believing. It has to invite them on a journey where a change might happen. And then, if you've opened all those doors, it has to solve the problem and to deliver on the promise. Marketing is the generous act of helping others become who they seek to become. It involves creating honest stories, stories that resonate and spread. Marketers offer solutions, opportunities for humans to solve their problems and move forward. And when our ideas spread, we change the culture. We build something that people would miss if it were gone, something that gives them meaning, connection, and possibility. The other kind of marketing, the hype, scams, and pressure, thrives on selfishness. Marketing is a consistent and continuous process. And the first step is to invent a thing worth making, with a story worth telling, and a contribution worth talking about. The second step is to design and build it in a way that a few people will particularly benefit from and care about. The third step is to tell a story that matches the built in narrative and dreams of that tiny group of people, the smallest viable market. The fourth step is the one everyone gets excited about, spreading the word. The last step is often overlooked, which is to show up regularly, consistently, and generously for years and years to organize and lead and build confidence in the change you seek to make, to earn permission to follow up and to earn enrollment to teach. As marketers, we get to consistently do the work to help the ideas spread from person to person, engaging a tribe as you make change happen. Marketers don't use consumers to solve their company's problem. They use marketing to solve other people's problems. They have the empathy to know that those they seek to serve don't want what the marketer wants, don't believe what they believe, and don't care about what they care about. At the heart of our culture is our belief in status, in our self perceived understanding of our role in any interaction, in where we're going next. We use status roles and our decisions about affiliation and dominion to decide where to go and how to get there. Persistent, consistent, and frequent stories delivered to an aligned audience will earn attention, trust, and action. In essence, most marketers deliver the same feelings. We just do it in different ways with different services, products, and stories. And we do it for different people in different moments. Now let's talk about differentiation and positioning. So once you've identified the scale, you find the corner of the market that can't wait for your attention. Go to their extremes. Find a position on the map where you and you alone are the perfect answer. Overwhelm this group's wants and dreams and desires with your care, your attention, and your focus. Make change happen. Change that's so profound, people can't help but talk about it. Because it doesn't matter what people you're not seeking to serve think. What matters is whether you've changed the people who trust you, the people who have connected with you, the people you seek to serve. So you need to start with empathy to see a real need, not an invented one, not how can I start a business, but what would matter here. Then you focus on the smallest viable market. How few people could find this indispensable and still make it worth doing. So match the worldview of the people being served. Show up in the world with a story that they want to hear, told in a language they're eager to understand. Make it easy to spread. If every member brings in one more member, within a few years, you'll have more members than you can count. Earn and keep the attention and trust of those you serve. Offer ways to go deeper. Instead of looking for members for your work, look for ways to do work for your members. At every step along the way, create and relieve tension as people progress in their journeys toward their goals. Show up often, do it with humility, and focus on the parts that work. Your job as a marketer is to find a spot on the map with edges that people want to find. Not a selfish, unique selling proposition done to maximize your market share, but a generous beacon, a signal flare sent up so that people who are looking for you can easily find you. Effective marketers don't begin with a solution, with the thing that makes them more clever than everyone else. Instead, we begin with a group we seek to serve, a problem they seek to solve, and a change they seek to make. Now let's talk about how we change behaviors of our audience as marketers. So assertions are about what our audience, the folks we need to serve, want and need. Assertions about what's on their mind when they wake up, what they talk about when no one is eavesdropping, what they remember at the end of the day. And then we make assertions about how our story and our promise will interact with these wants and desires. When someone encounters us, will they see what we see? Will they want what they think they'll want? Will they take action? So we really need to know whom we're targeting. Really need to know them beyond demographics and psychographics. Know what they like, they dislike, what they fear, what they desire. We can't change the culture, but each of us has the opportunity to change a culture. Our little pocket of the world. The smallest viable market makes sense because it maximizes your chances of changing a culture. The core of your market, enriched and connected by the change you seek to make, organically shares the word with the next layer of the market, and so on. This is people like us. Normalization creates culture, and culture drives our choices, which leads to more normalization. Marketers don't make average stuff for average people. Marketers make change, and they do it by normalizing new behaviors. Marketing changes your pricing, pricing changes your marketing. Because people form assumptions and associations based on your pricing, and your pricing shapes what people believe about your service. It's important to be clear about how you position yourself. Your price should be aligned with the extremes you claimed as part of your positioning. Permission marketing recognizes the new power of the best consumers to ignore marketing. It realizes that treating people with respect, is the best way to earn their attention. Pay attention is a key phrase here because permission marketers understand that when someone chooses to pay attention, they actually are paying you with something valuable. And there's no way they can get their attention back if they change their mind. Attention becomes an important asset, something to be valued, not wasted. Now let's talk about how marketers create a story or a brand story that is relatable and resonates with their customers. So, first, we have the story of self, which gives you standing or a platform from which to speak. When you talk about your transition from who you used to be to who you became, you are being generous with us. Next is you have the story of us, which is about being together, not apart. It explains why your story of self is relevant to us and how we will benefit when we're part of people like us. And the story of now is the critical pivot. The story of now enlists the tribe on your journey. It's the peer opportunity or peer pressure of the tribe that will provide you the tension for all of us to move forward together. So, this is how you craft your brand stories or how marketers create stories. You talk about yourself, but at the same time, you talk about how you can make a difference or change the lives of your customers, how you can improve their way of life, how you together, your product or your brand and them can create like a better world and eventually change or transform your customer's life. Your opportunity as a marketer is the chance to connect the members of a tribe. They're lonely and disconnected. They fear being unseen. And you, as the agent of change, can make connection happen. And you connect through these stories, through understanding who they are, what they need, and how you can transform their lives, how you can make change. So that wraps up this episode. I hope you learned and reflected on what marketing is. Don't forget to follow the podcast to get notified on the latest uploads. Let me know what you think of this episode and what you want to hear next at the Gen Z Marketer Podcast on Facebook, at Gen Z MKT on Instagram, and at www.genzmkt.com.